Russia has angrily hit back at Joe Biden's jibe that butcher Vladimir Putin cannot stay in power by branding the U.S. leader weak, sick and deluded. Because he is incapable of soberly assessing reality. Putin's own spokesman Dmitry Peskov said, "We don't know what President Biden meant, we know what he said." And what he said in general in his speech suggests that he is a victim of numerous delusions. Speaker of the Russian parliament Vyacheslav Volodin branded Biden a weak and sick man, guilty of hysteria by branding Putin a butcher for the bloodshed in Ukraine. The U.S. president's behavior might be professionally explained by psychiatrists, but from a male point of view, the weak behave this way. U.S. citizens should be ashamed of their president. Perhaps he is sick. It would be right for Biden to undergo a medical examination. Senior pro-Putin MP Leonid Slutsky said on Telegram, "Biden has completely crossed all boundaries of decency." The epithets which he throws at the Russian president are more suitable for those who killed civilians, the elderly, women and children, in Yugoslavia, Iraq, Libya, Syria. Do you need a reminder as to who was behind all those campaigns? The USA. Or, perhaps, you need a reminder as to who encouraged Nazism in Ukraine? The USA. State TV also hit out at Biden's countless slips of the tongue and mistakes, such as referring to blitzed city Mariupol as Metropole, and calling the Polish president ambassador. Russia 1 correspondent Asya Yemelyanova scoffed that Biden's familiar geographical slip-ups like Mariupol, Metropole are nonsense compared to the fact that in Ukraine, according to the president, there are no Nazis, because Zelensky is a Jew, and the dollar in Russia is already worth 200 rubles. NTV correspondent Lisa Gerson said that Biden had no right to say Putin cannot remain in power because 76% of voters had backed him 4 years ago. However, the 2018 election was dominated by accusations of vote rigging, the banning of opposition candidates and lack of access to the media to any Putin parties. Center TV, owned by the Moscow government, dubbed the butcher charge against Putin as frankly insulting. When leaving Holy Trinity Church in the Georgetown neighborhood of Washington, D.C. on Sunday, "Mr. President, do you want Putin removed?" the reporter asked. "Mr. President, were you calling for regime change?" they asked, to which Biden turned to the camera and yelled no, before getting into his motorcade. Less than 24 hours earlier, Biden said, "For God's sake, this man cannot remain in power," in a shocking apparent call for regime change in Moscow. The call came at the end of an impassioned speech from Poland on Saturday. The unscripted remark, which the White House scrambled to walk back as the Kremlin expressed fury, came at the end of an otherwise resolute and fiery speech rallying the free world to unite in opposition to autocracy and support of Ukraine. France's President Emmanuel Macron on Sunday also warned against an escalation in words and action, hours after Biden branded Putin a butcher who cannot remain in power. Macron, a close U.S. ally who has also spoken frequently with Putin since the invasion, warned the West not to escalate in words or actions, or risk hampering vital humanitarian efforts, including hopes of evacuating the devastated Ukrainian city of Mariupol. Macron's attempt at mediation came hours after U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken assured reporters at a press conference in Jerusalem that the United States was not looking for regime change in Moscow or anywhere else in the world. Blinken quickly walked back his president's comments, explaining that his boss was likely referring to Putin's influence outside of his country, including Moscow's bloody and unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, which has now spanned over a month. I think the president, the White House, made the point last night that, quite simply, President Putin cannot be empowered to wage war or engage in aggression against Ukraine or anyone else, Blinken said according to multiple reports. As you know, and as you have heard us say repeatedly, we do not have a strategy of regime change in Russia, or anywhere else, for that matter.